Good morning. This is my very first video. I'm just putting out to some friends and family. I'm going to be just talking through some of the things I've been learning and give a overview of what I am seeing in the markets currently. So on Friday last week, Trump was able to put out a tweet and cause the largest ever liquidation cascade in the crypto markets. He has a lot of power, and I'm sure him and his buddies are making very good money out of a lot of these calls. It really makes it difficult to trade in this environment, and it's amazing that in the space of 3 days he can go from very, very high sanctions and tariffs on China to completely U-turning and saying it was a misunderstanding. So this all happens, by the way, whilst the stock market is closed between Friday to Monday and the crypto markets are live. So, make what you want of that, but it just shows you this is a very volatile market. It is very difficult to trade as a retail trader because you're constantly having to deal with these sort of black swan or events that are outside of your controls, which higher market cap, less volatile markets are less susceptible to. So where are we? So on the Bitcoin chart, you'll see here that we can look on the high time frame. I'll try and clear this up a little bit for you guys. Bear with me. Let's close these off here. So on the high time frame, you will basically see that we created an all-time high not long ago, and since then we have been pulling back. After Trump's comments, the market fell 20%, which is unheard of, considering this is meant to be the least volatile asset in the space. So where are we now? So price has fallen since the wick, which went to around 100,000. Psychologically, that's quite a nice number. The price has sort of found a bit of ground around 112,000. Yesterday, it looked like we were going to be positively playing one of a few scenarios. So price has sort of stabilized out halfway in the middle of this wick, and it looked to be retesting a weekly support and resistance level. We constantly trade these different ranges, and at 116,000 is where the current resistance is. In order to sort of map out the possible scenarios, I did this yesterday, we could have flipped the above level here and targeted above, or we could have tested the level and then looking to sweep the low liquidity below. So what I'm seeing that the price could possibly go between 110,000 to 106,000, with a stop loss, shortly below there. So this is sort of the levels we're playing at the moment, sort of between the 108 to 116 level. If you're thinking bullishly, price needs to flip this 116 level and we can target higher. Otherwise, price is going to sweep below, and we will then look to try and go long in this region here. Now, just briefly touch on a few other things. You can see we're pulling back this morning. Ether's charts, very, very similar. Everything is sort of running off Bitcoin. So in order really to get a good picture of the crypto market, you can just focus on Bitcoin. But Ether's chart's very similar. It hit an all-time high. It's pulled back after these Trump comments. It's rejected now. We could call this a swing failure pattern, where price sweeps above the resistance, traps everyone who then goes long thinking price is going to go higher, and then they send the price lower to wipe those people out. This is a very this is a market where you're constantly having to try and be on the right side of everything if you're trading on the short term, and you're up against, quants, top traders from exchanges, whales, and they're all literally just trying to take your money. And that's why one of the best things to do in crypto is just to hold, and because the general trajectory of most cryptocurrencies is up. But this is to give you a bit of perspective. This chart that we're looking at has been going up for a few years now. So it's always possible that this could be the top. We've just created a new all-time high. So it is always possible that this could be a top. So you want to be very careful over the next few months. Now, I do believe that this is still a bull market and that price can go higher. We just need to deal with all of this sort of manipulation for say. But I do believe in a bull run, pullbacks are for buying. It's just about being careful about when to buy and how to buy. So just looking at this chart gives you a little bit of perspective of where we are, and you don't want to be the person getting trapped, like I said before, in these locations, because then you're stuck with your money at a loss for significant periods of time. Is this just the end of this Bitcoin's run and now we're going to come back down to around 80k? Or is this just a pullback before we send it higher to 150? And that is the decision we're having to try and work out day by day. Now, just to touch on a few last things. One, it's just the ETH BTC chart. Now, if you're invested in Ethereum, one thing to think about is this chart. It basically will show you the relationship between Bitcoin and Ethereum. You'll see that in periods of strong periods for the crypto market, like this one, you will notice that this right here, yes, so what you'll notice is in these periods here where the bull market is in effect, so in 2021, you'll see the price of the chart goes up, and since then price has been consistently going down and the price of Bitcoin has been going up. So in order for altcoins and Ethereum to perform, we usually would need this trend here to flip and for price to start moving upwards. Therefore, we can start to see, as Ethereum recently broke all-time high, we can see from the bottom here, the price has started to break out, for say, and the trend has changed. So the key level here is here. You can see price here was stuck underneath. It's now looking to flip this level here. Once it flips that level, it would be a good indicator, to be honest with you, of the altcoin season, as people like to say, taking effect, because when this comes up, the price of Ethereum will come up whilst the price of Bitcoin consolidates for a period. So you can see in this pullback that we've had recently, price has almost tipped its toes above this level here and then rejected. So it's quite common for a trend to retest below before going higher, and if we have a bull case that we think the crypto market's going to grow and Ethereum's going to maybe go to 6,500 to 7,000, then by the time it sort of reaches any of these levels here on this ETH BTC chart, then we could argue this is sort of the break of trend, this is the retest, and then we're going to hopefully send higher. But we'll have to wait and see on that. And then I think just finally, Bitcoin dominance is another good one to look at. So for your Ethereum bag or your altcoins to perform, we need to really see Bitcoin dominance drop. Bitcoin dominance is the amount of Bitcoin held in the market relative to everything else. And in this scenario here, you can see that Bitcoin dominance has been creeping up, and this aligns with the price of Bitcoin, which has been going up over the last few months. And so what we want to see in this case is actually for Bitcoin dominance to flip this level and go down, because what that will mean is the rest of the crypto market which can be looked at in the total 3, which is here. This is the an index to show how much of the market, the total market cap, of the non-Bitcoin and Ethereum cryptocurrencies, so everything else. And so what we really want to see is this to go parabolic. I'm not sure how high it can go, but this level to be completely flipped. So what we'll see is hopefully this break out and flip this level here, and then on the Bitcoin dominance chart for the price to retrace, and inevitably during the bear market, once crypto's topped, you'll see all of the money filter back into Bitcoin, and then a cycle will repeat itself. So where are we at right now? We're just sort of feeling out what has happened since that liquidation event, which saw 60 billion worth of cryptocurrencies liquidated from the market space. And so it's time to just be patient. We're getting to a point where if you wanted to buy more cryptocurrency and you're bullish on price going upwards, things have retraced quite a significant amount. And so, it's not the worst place to be thinking, okay, maybe if I have a bull case, I could maybe start dollar cost averaging very slowly into some really just Bitcoin and Ethereum. One thing that this dump taught us was that, some of the strongest coins in the market can literally get wiped out in a matter of seconds. I mean, who would have ever thought, in 1 hour, some of the largest cryptocurrencies could drop 30 to 50%. It's criminal. I mean, look at this. Litecoin was at $135 and it went as low as 50. It's horrific, and this doesn't mean that much to those of you who do not leverage trade. People who leverage trade have liquidation price points, which are significantly lower depending on the leverage. And when a candle like this happens, which is caused by a domino effect of people getting liquidated, one person comes out, the next. So all these people who got in as low as $60 years ago have then been wiped out in 1 hour. So that's what's caused loads of people to lose a lot of money, and it all comes from a Trump tweet, which is crazy. And it just shows you this is a very, very risky market to be playing in, and you should always invest your money very carefully in this market and have a very diverse portfolio outside of crypto. With the experience I have in this market, I'm definitely realizing more and more just how difficult it is to make money in this market, and the attraction that a lot of people have to this market comes from stories of people from many years ago, not people entering the market now just blindly buying things. It's not that kind of market anymore, at least at this current moment in time. There is not many people from retail hearing about this and entering the market. It's mainly just money rotating. It's mainly big funds getting into Bitcoin and Ethereum and some other blue chips. And there's just too many cryptocurrencies in the market. In 2017 and 2021, there was significantly less cryptocurrencies. You've now got hundreds of cryptocurrencies. Money has to filter across them all. And so just Bitcoin going up, whereas in the past that would result in all of the crypto market going up, there's no longer enough money in the market for all of these different cryptocurrencies to have the aggressive moves that were once possible. And so you now have to be smart with where you put your money, and you have to really have a bit of an edge in this market, because it's not one for the faint-hearted. So that's it from me. Just a little things I'm sort of thinking about. This is obviously not financial advice. I'm just sort of expressing to you guys what I've learnt, what I'm thinking, and hopefully